There's a killer among you, and you don't know who it is.
No!
Only by talking to those around you will you discover who's innocent and who's guilty.
I don't trust anybody.
But I'm just a simple villager.
The clock is ticking. Will you and your fellow townsfolk deliver sage and swift justice? Or will your panicky mob take an innocent life?
No!
This is your challenge in Werewolves Within, a social virtual reality game of deduction and deception that will keep pulling you back in, match after match. Here are 5 reasons why we here at the UB blog find Werewolves Within so enticing.
Got him.
Oh, all right. Yes! That's awesome.
Number 1, crossplay. A social game only works if you have people to socialize with. By enabling crossplay across Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, and PlayStation VR, Werewolves Within throws the door open for collaboration and competition against all sorts of players across 3 separate VR ecosystems.
Who voted Mike as ringleader? You've doomed us all.
Number 2, subterfuge. Werewolves Within is about community. It's about working together and using your detective skills to find a guilty party in a group of presumed innocents.
I had a pretty good feeling it was Adam, and I still think it was.
But more than that, it's about lying. And there are a few things more satisfying than pulling off a long con in one of the villainous roles.
I am also a villager, so that's,
When you're randomly selected to be a werewolf, a turncloak, or a deviant, you may be tempted to simply stay quiet, hoping to fade into the background as the talkers attract all the attention. This is the wrong approach. Nothing is more glaringly suspicious than a villager who's been quiet the whole time. Instead, take an active role. Defend people you know are innocent and cast shade at others.
I mean, I'm definitely going to vote to kill Adam. I mean, that's obvious.
Oh yeah?
If your enemies get too close to the truth and your facade falters, playing along might be enough to convince the others that you're a deviant, a villager who wins by dying, and this might convince them to look elsewhere. On the other hand, if you are a deviant, a few shaky denials might convince the others you're actually a werewolf.
All 3 of you on the left are werewolves. Possibly.
Or possibly werewolves.
Werewolves win when confusion reigns, and if there's no clear consensus of suspicion, evil has a shot at victory. You don't have to have a villainous agenda to bend the truth either. Many of the good guy abilities can benefit from a well-timed fib or two, which brings us to number 3, diverse roles. You won't have to rely solely on your ability to detect lies to win at Werewolves Within, because the game doesn't just pit villagers against monsters. It pits villagers, astrologers, watchers, drifters, gossips, trackers, and saints against werewolves, turncloaks, and deviants. Each role comes with skills that can give your side an advantage, most of which revolve around revealing the roles of whoever you aim them at. As a watcher, for example, you can see 2 possible roles for a single target, one of which is true and the other of which is false.
I'm a watcher. I can see that Andy is either a werewolf or a gossip.
Collaborating with someone who has a similar gift, say a gossip who's able to divine 2 players' possible roles over the course of the match, can reveal inconsistencies that might cast light on the werewolves' true identities. No matter which role you end up with, it's important to play to your strengths. And if you need a refresher on what those are, you can always consult your handy-dandy floating book. Number 4, it's like being there. You can't really tell from this video, but one of the things that makes Werewolves Within special is the sense of physical presence that VR offers. It feels like you're really sitting there. Might not sound very impactful until you look down and gaze into the abyss. Beyond the sense that you're surrounded by an eerie Transylvanian village, your fellow villagers have a weight and presence in the world. Their heads and lips move in sync with their actual players. They gesture while they talk, and the directional sound leaves 0 doubt as to who's talking at any given time.
You're either werewolf or gossip, so you must be
Okay, that is patently false. I am a villager. I am
That seems
definitely
like the
putting
same gambit I
suspicion
used.
on this.
You're far too defensive about it.
When you lean in to whisper, it feels like you're getting right up in their faces. And if you really want to command everyone's attention, just stand up. They'll know you mean business. Or that you're a werewolf.
And I thought I would stand up and monologue and prove that Justin is, in fact, the turncloak. And I'll sit back down.
You and me. It's gonna get bad.
Number 5. Everybody loves emoting. Sometimes the subtle gestures your character makes while you're speaking just aren't enough to drive your point home. That's when Werewolves Within's roster of emotes comes into play, letting you map up to 4 movements to the D-pad from a much larger selection. There are a lot of ways to express your approval or displeasure with your fellow players beyond the classic pull the right trigger to point in an accusatory fashion maneuver. When you're ready to move beyond finger pointing to finger wagging, eye rolling, and full body scoffing, there's a full range of emotes just waiting for you.
Me?
And with the game available now on HTC Vive, Oculus Rift, and PlayStation VR, it's time to strap in and start your first investigation.
Don't be a idiot.
Gotcha.
Yes.
For more on Werewolves Within and all other Ubisoft games, subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit us at the Ubi blog.